compare me to zero like the jersey on Russell. You know I'm gone off the strong, no muscle. I'm like a pit off the leash, no muscle.
This is After Hours Live for the Man Cave. This is your host, Tay Wiggs.
You got your co-host Mark Sr.
Man, we back in the building.
Yes,
Man, first of
sir.
all, we're going to get everything kicked off, man. Marks, man, let people know what they missing out on, man.
Oh man. So if you ain't watching the NBA, it's been some gems. It's been some gems. You know, we had them trades at the trade deadline. You know, the main trade, you know, James Harden getting his way going to Philly. You know, he got skated his way out of two cities in less than a year. Now he in Philly. Ben Simmons in Brooklyn. You know, so everybody's waiting for this game. Is Ben Simmons gonna play? Is Ben Simmons gonna play? His head ain't straight. Ben Simmons ain't play. But James Harden played, or he didn't play. If you watch the game, he didn't play. He was out there scared. He was petrified. KD and Kyrie was menacing. Like, it was no love lost. You would have thought they had never been on teams just less than 3 months ago. Kyrie following them around all over the court. James Harden, a no-show. People forget that. They think the Philly was just going to go straight to the finals. James Harden is a historical no-shower. Like, in Houston, to the conference finals twice, no-showed them. Before Chris Paul got there, it was up 3-1 on the Clippers.
No show.
Well, not 3-1. They was down 1-3 to the Clippers. The game 4 or game 5, the deciding game, he gets put on the bench, and Josh Smith and crew take over the game and get him to the dub. And James Harden is on the bench.
Exactly. And two, and piggyback what you were saying, going through the, get off work early, going through the motions. I was like, let me see my boy James Harden gonna do. I forgot. Y'all keep forgetting that Kyrie Irving is a legend in Cleveland. The game winning 3 to win a championship to seal the deal for LeBron James, who I keep saying every time I say it. Kyrie will give you roses. LeBron always get the roses. But Kyrie, Uncle Drew, the leader of the bus school driver, get so disrespected. Like he don't he never did this before. This guy, he's a legend. This guy played 11 games of collegiate basketball for the late and great current Mike Krzyzewski and the Duke Blue Devils. Y'all can't forget that Kyrie is a legend down there.
Right.
Second of all, this is what he does. Like I said, he's the bus driver. I would say he probably got the better ball movement control than AI. Yes, I said it. Allen Iverson. Shout out to him, Hall of Famer. But getting back to the real more of the story is, man, Kyrie and Drew Irving. Yes, Kai. That's how you got to Kai. Kai is a bona fide killer, man. Killer, no one says. A bona fide killer. He might not be that vocal leader that everybody's looking for, and everybody's like he need to be more vocal. It's the same thing as Kawhi. He's not that vocal either. But at the same time, though, their game speak. Their actions speak louder than their words. They lead by an example. Kyrie gets the job done. Kevin Durant, same thing. Like Kyrie and Kevin Durant is pretty much like a match made in heaven. Like, I think it was just too much basketball. You got one basketball for 3 primary ball handlers, which is not going to work. Like Kyrie and KD have that relationship where, all right, you go get yours, then I can come back and get mine.
Right.
Then once when all 3 of them together, when James Harden was with that crew, James Harden looked lost. He didn't know what to do. His points was falling. You know why his points was falling? James Harden plays no defense.
He don't. He play that Matador defense.
He plays no defense. He does play Matador defense. He played a swiper defense. Like, if you run past him, he's gonna swipe the ball. He's like, if you watch what he does in those situations, look how good he is in that. That's the crazy part about it, though. You can go for lip. He's swiping. Alligator arms.
Swiping.
Right. But the whole thing is about James Harden. Like, when that game right there against the Sixers, when we seen that, Marcus, look at that game. Was it not that James Harden on the bench getting his shins and the calf muscles rubbed? I said, here we go again. Shrinking.
All of a sudden, that hamstring start hurting again.
Right. I said, that boy trying to be 4PF for real with little baby in him. Like, bring your game. Bring your A game. no doubt about it that Joel Embiid brings his game every night.
Yeah.
Like every night. You know, he's probably might be the MVP, but I don't think so. But he's in the running forward. So Marcus, when you're looking at that game the other day, that James Harden going up against the Brooklyn Nets, and you know, no Ben Simmons is still getting booed.
Mm-hmm.
And you looking at that, and it, like you said, Marcus, people was riding that wave like, oh, Philly got to win. They're going to the championship, man. You don't win championships in March unless you're an NCAA tournament team.
Right. Unless you're a Cinderella story, that one shining moment. That's only
Right.
championships.
Facts.
So I mean, I think Joel Embiid came to play.
Mm-hmm.
You know, him and KD had you know, a quick back and forth. You can tell
Right.
the intensity was up. It felt like a playoff game. But Philly was, they looked slow, man. I mean, the Nets were just running up and down the floor. Philly looked like they was having trouble getting back on defense.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Andre Drummond, before you know he got hurt, he looked like he was having a resurgence, like he had a chip on his shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
Seth Curry open for threes, like the guys they traded away was like adding the dagger, like stabbing them in the ribs,
Right.
just to put the sugar on top. You know what I mean?
Now look at this. Looking at going ahead. Look at this Brooklyn Nets team right now. Right now they have playoff end team. They got 35. They 35 and 33.
Mm-hmm.
Is this part? Would you say this is one of the most dangerous playoff end team right now for the tournament going into the NBA? Even though we still
Yeah,
have 14 games left.
nobody want to play them. That's for sure. I mean, I would say yeah, they definitely out of both conferences, they the
Hmm.
most dangerous team. I mean, it's
Yeah.
still enough games left where they can kind of squeeze in there. You know, I'm worried about my Cavs. You know, they in sixth place,
Right.
and they ain't been winning. They've been losing more than they've been winning as of late, and they can easily get jumped by the Brooklyn Nets
Yeah.
if they play like how they played against Philly. You know, for the rest of the season.
Exactly. And you know, it's like you said about the Cavaliers going into that type of stretch. You know, you losing your big man and Jared Allen, the fro man, with the fractured finger. Just noticed. Just learned from his camp today that he's not getting surgery, so he's gonna let it heal, or he's gonna try and play through it. So he will be ready for the playoffs. He said he will be back. So that's some good news there. But on the other side, no, for the Cleveland Cavaliers, looking at some good news. You know, Evan Mobley
Mm-hmm.
had a career high 30. He had 30 points. That was his career high. You know, 17 rebounds. What
Yeah.
what does he bring to the table for a young Cavaliers team? Even though you're missing a veteran out there that's down right now.
I mean, his defense is vet level.
Right.
And then with Jared Allen going out, you know, I heard, you know, I read that Bickerstaff said you know, he had to speak to him, let him know, you know, it's a level of urgency with these last couple of games. We sliding in the rankings. Jared Allen out there, and since Jared Allen been out, he's been having his best scoring out. I mean, the defense is always there, but he's been having 30 point. Like he had his highest scoring game yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
He's scoring. He hitting a three. He's getting it down low, even though he's slight build. I mean,
Oh yeah,
he is really composing himself. Like he's been in the league forever.
yeah. He playing like he's belong. And one thing I
Yeah.
like about his game too, Marcus, like you said, he can score from different ways. And then one thing too I love about his game, as a young man in this league, his defense, like got 100 blocks already. Got there pretty fast because most guys get 100 blocks around their second year into their NBA season, or some their third year. But he controls the paint. Like you said, he's a slender guy. So just imagine. Remember, Kevin Durant came to lead that size. If he just bulk up a little bit more, and like you said, Marcus in the last pod, man, it's going to be hell trying to stop that guy because I like his footwork is great. I think he just worked. I just think he need to work on find him a set shot, a go-to move, and be more consistent at the free throw line. Because pretty much he has the whole package of being an all-star and maybe a Hall of Famer from years to come.
Right. For sure. That's facts.
So as we going now, we're going through the Eastern Conference. You look at the Miami Heat, the Milwaukee Bucks. Things are starting to heat up now.
Yep.
Starting to heat up. You know, we've been for the last week or so, everybody dropping 50 balls, 40 balls, 45 this, 40, 60 balls.
Right.
I'm trying to figure out what's in that Wilson basketball
The
because
new, no
they
longer
play
spalding.
no longer spoiling. We're seeing people, individual players now doing 40s and 50s no problem. And shout out to my boy Tone, aka Mr. Honcho, aka you need new sneakers here at the Coins Club. Mark got the hat on.
Yes,
He
sir.
just said, yo, do you remember when Kobe was going on these streets like this, scoring 40s and 50s for almost a whole month? So we are
Yeah,
seeing
for
this
a
now
month. Though.
for a month. Now we look at the individual players. LeBron had the 50 balls twice. You look up, Jordan Clarkson had 45 off the bench. I'm looking like, then you look up last night, Whitney had 46. Trae Young, 60 burger to go along with 17 rebounds with Karl Anthony Towns. Mark, what can you say about the play that you've been seeing now lately from the young guns?
I mean, it's been crazy. I mean, you mentioned, some of them. I mean, Trae Young, his has been going unnoticed.
It has.
He hit 45 back to back, 45, 10, and to go with it, double-digit assists.
Is it because they're not winning?
It's got to be because they're not winning. He like LeBron on the East Coast. Like he got to put up at least 50 for them to win. Like they just struggling for some reason, but at least they at least a 500 team at least.
Right.
But they in equal, ninth place in both conferences.
Right.
And it's just going. I think he going slightly under the radar because they had so much expectation going into the season because they made such a long playoff run last year unexpectedly. Now this year they kind of underperforming. They traded Cam Reddish. That really didn't do much. And Trae Young is just like he their whole scoring. He's their offense pretty much.
So speaking of Atlanta Hawks, I like this topic. I like the young Hawks though. I'm getting it twisted. I like Trae Young. Do you think it's because no John Collins in the lineup? He's out. That could play a big role too. You're not getting the second chance shots as you normally would get on a nightly basis with a John Collins. Then two, I think they overpaid for Clint Capella, who's definitely not been showing up lately too as well. So you got two big men. You got one that's out. You got one that's supposed to be picking up the slack, but it's not picking up the slack. So that's more player coach. Is that more player error or more coaching error than anything to put them in the best situation to win?
I mean, John Collins being out is I don't that's just you chalk that up to chance.
Mm-hmm.
But Clint Capella, that's definitely player. He got the bag, got the check. He should be playing better. I mean, when he first got traded to Atlanta, that type of level of play is what he should be given right now. I mean, it's still hope. They in the play-in situation. They can easily play their way into the 7 or 8. Well, I guess it would be the 8th place.
Right.
But are they gonna burn out Trae before they are they gonna burn out Trae just getting to the playoffs and then get swept? That wouldn't be worth it.
And like I said, we talking about the scoring outbursts, and I forgot to mention this. Like I said, Karl Anthony Towns did score 60 points. Steph hit 40 points as well, along with Trae Young. So this is the first time this happened on the same night in NBA history when players go for 45 or more. When we looking at this upscale of I'm gonna say the reason they always say offense sells tickets and stuff like that. I put more bodies in the stadium, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel like I ain't gonna say do you feel like we know this? We watch the game in our own eyes. When it comes to certain players, do you feel like the benefit of doubt that certain players get certain calls because who they are instead of what they doing most of the time?
Oh, most definitely. Especially the superstars, the faces of the league, and the people with a certain style of play. Like speaking of Trae Young, he's one of the players that get fouled a lot because of the style of play he has, and he's a big name. James Harden, who we mentioned at the beginning, he get a lot of fouls. Joel Embiid on his team, one of the leaders that go into the foul line.
Right.
I think they get beneficial calls because the refs know how skilled they are in comparison to some of the opponents. So like Joel Embiid is super skilled. You're not that super, or I don't know, your name don't ring bells like that, and you ain't known for being Dwight Howard or Draymond Green or Rudy Gobert on the defensive end. So you got to be following them. That's how I feel like the refs be calling the games.
Mm-hmm. Then, so we know last night, Draymond Green come back for the first time. The first time we see the big three on a court together within 3 years. I'm watching their play. Draymond Green, like he didn't miss a beat. I'm watching the Warriors. I'm like, Clay trying to find his legs. Clay doesn't move the same. I'm gonna be honest.
It's gonna be a minute.
It's gonna be a minute. He doesn't move the same. I'm gonna throw this out there, but people may say, "Man, you might be wanting something." I'm gonna throw this out there. Okay. The Jordan Poole experience. Younger guy, a defensive player, could create his own shot to dribble. Clay cannot. People, when I say something, man, it comes to fruition. Do you believe, Marcus? Yes, I got kind of loud on this one. I think if everything happened, I believe that Klay Thompson may get moved this summer for the right price.
Oh, you think he getting traded? Oh man, I don't know. I wasn't prepared for that.
You heard it here first.
I wasn't prepared for
After
that
hours
one.
of live from Man Cave. Did you see that happening?
I mean, I'm glad you mentioned Jordan Poole right before you said that, because that's the guy. He been balling this year.
That's a steal from Indiana, though. Indiana University. That's a steal.
Yeah.
Of Jordan Poole? No, he went to Michigan. I'm sorry.
He went to Michigan?
Yeah.
I mean, he been keeping up the slack while Clay was out. It was like they did miss a beat. But when Draymond went down, things fell apart for a second there. But Jordan Poole can take the minutes, I'm sorry, from Clay. I don't think I would like to think the Golden State Warriors got more loyalty to Clay than that, so I don't think they would trade him. I think if it came down to it, they would probably trade Jordan Poole and try to get, some things back. But you're not wrong in your thinking. I mean, Jordan Poole is playing better than Klay Thompson right now, and he is coming off 2 major injuries. But
that's tough.
I wasn't expecting that.
Like I said, I know you're gonna laugh at this one. I'm gonna go back to this one. I said it before too, like probably about 20 pods ago. The first person I seen really tear their ACL for real was Quincy McCall in basketball. He's had a major injury. Ever since then, after that movie, like 3 or 4 years later, here come all the injuries like that. Like
he started the trend. He started the wave for it.
Hollywood started the trend. I'm not gonna call it the ACL tear. The new name is called the Quincy McCall injury.
The Quincy McCall.
That's mine. I'm taking it to the bank. The Quincy McCall injury. After his father, whose name is Zeke, he's like, "You're not ready for the league yet, son." Anyway, of course, he went to go play for USC and moved right on to the Lakers and hurt himself in the regular preseason game. But when you look at that, everybody's hurting themselves, and you don't come back the same. You don't come back the same after tearing your ACL injuries. Only person who came back like that, who had 6 of those, he played right here in Carolina. His name is Tommy Davis Sr., the linebacker out of Georgia, who probably played 13, 14 seasons in the NFL, played for the Panthers, and also played for the Washington Commanders. So I'm looking at that as certain guys are special, but for a basketball player who got to keep moving around, zigzagging, going through cuts, that's a lot of wear and tear.
It is.
82 games, though, Marcus. We're not even talking about playoffs or preseason.
82 regular season games every other night.
So you look at a person like Klay Thompson, he would be forever submitted in Warriors history, but like I said, it's a young man's league. We got to go with the young guy. Got to go with Jordan Poole. I think that's going to happen this summer. I do believe somewhere deep down inside, if they get the right offer, they could move Klay Thompson. Now, sticking to the strip on the West Coast, let's talk about these Los Angeles no-time Lakers. I'm having more fun watching the series on HBO or where they're playing on Stars than watching the actual Lakers. What is going on with the no-time, Showtime Lakers?
Man, they old. They old. That's what it is. They old, and I love Russell Westbrook, but he's one of the main reasons. I mean, you can't blame him for everything, but his reluctancy to play, I'm gonna say, winning basketball is really impacting him to the point where for them to even win, LeBron got to get damn near 50 points, and he almost 40. That don't make no sense.
It's so crazy because before the season is over, LeBron might have to get some more hair plugs. He might just have to go bald. Like, can't get nothing from Dwight Howard. Melo's a shell of himself now again.
Melo at least play his role. I would say that he at least gonna try to give you some winning buckets.
Right. Yeah, I'm looking at. I'm be honest, Marcus. They have no answer at the point guard spot. Like, who's their point guard?
THT. I mean, THT, Russell, and pretty much LeBron. That's it. I mean, I wouldn't count Malik Monk as a point guard. He putting it up. He ain't looking. He ain't trying to set up nothing.
I think the Lakers should shake things up. It's time to let DJ Augustine come in and start. That's what you got him for. And I'd rather have Russell come off the bench because Russell, he's playing home. He's trying to push the envelope and trying to be a scorer, and he's shooting off the side of the backboard, top of the backboard, hitting the shot clock. I said, you cannot make this up for Russell Westbrook. This had to be one of his most underwhelming performances ever. Remember, this is a former MVP of the league.
Right. And I think it's mental. I think it's more mental than anything. I know how he's been playing, he's much better than that. Like, nobody can tell me different. It's something up here that's not.
It's not clicking.
Not resonating.
For real, like when you look at when they first put that team together, I'm gonna be honest, I was one of the ones like, oh man, this is definitely a legitimate championship contender. But I always try to contradict myself because I always say this too. We came by word with the names on the back of the jersey. They still gotta go out and perform. And this is a performance. I'm looking like this is atrocious. Abomination.
It's terrible. I mean, at one point during that game yesterday, it was like 41-12 or something silly like that.
They was down what? 20? No, they was down 21-6. I was like, this can't be happening again. Like, nobody plays defense. That's down to their leader. Your leader is LeBron James. If something goes bad, and everybody keep pointing at Russell Westbrook. We got to point to the head of the state. LeBron James. How many times have we seen out there on the floor LeBron James get the ball stolen from him? He don't run back on defense full force. He's walking up the floor. But he's the main person. Trying to put a ball, shoot a brick, gotta wipe his hands off. Yeah. No, man. The Lakers gotta come out there playing straight defense to set the tone in the first quarter. Now, we can't look. They can't look ahead looking for Anthony Davis to be the savior because let's be honest, he's fragile.
Street clothes.
Street clothes, Davis. I know you hate that, but it is. Shout out to Charles Barkley who called him street clothes, but it is what it is when you see Anthony Davis, big man hooping in low top tennis shoes. Man, put some high tops on, man. Why are you injured? Like, he always injured. Man. The Lakers team is horrible. Rob Pelinka, horrible job. Frank Vogel right now has no answer for substitutions.
You got nowhere to go. Who you gonna put in? His best hope is LeBron, Reeves, Monk, THT, and and Carmelo. I think that's they best. I don't think is that 5 or is that 6? Anyway, them the best players that you need to have on the floor at all times.
No, you're gonna get a good chuck out of this, a good chuckle. Watching TNT crew with Shaq and Chuck and Ernie and them guys, right? I'm laughing. Charles Barkley said, "Hey, Bronny, you need to hurry get your lead. You need to come up with Dad out and get some wins." He's like, LeBron in street clothes ain't getting the job done, right? So I'm looking at Charles Barkley. He said we need some Sierra Leone Cannon players here. I'm like, yo.
Yeah, Cannon players.
So when I heard that, like, yo, it's definitely like it's not a good look right now. This is not LA basketball. The Clippers are not doing that well, but they right now in the standings, the Clippers are ahead of the Lakers. I want to say about what? About 4 games?
4 games.
And the Lakers are in trouble right now because
the
New Orleans Pelicans started streaking as well. And the Portland Trailblazers and the San Antonio Spurs got something to say too, as well.
So and the Portland Trailblazers are trying to lose. They still be winning.
So as we go back to the East, and we looking at things in the East, it was shaking up in the East, man. As we know, already 2 teams already got eliminated from playoff contention. The Detroit Pistons at 18-50. My God. Mm-hmm. Then you got the Orlando Magic too, who got disqualified from 18-51. You know, Jonathan Isaac is out for the rest of the season with an ACL tear. You know what I'm saying? My bad.
That's another ACL. Is that the same ACL?
Mm-hmm.
Like is it the same injury he had in the bubble?
Yep.
Or is
it's another
like he got re-injured? What's up with?
Yeah, he got re-injured.
Oh, so you got to call him ACL Odell now.
Whoa. Yep, ACL. Yep. This is the same way he tore in the bubble in 2020.
Man.
So he hasn't played since then. So his rehabbing took a step back.
Okay. All right. So it's the same injury. All right.
Right. So now, Marcus, we down to nitty-gritty in the NBA season. Like 14 games left. Which team in both conferences, East and West, who you may have a legitimate shot to upset someone?
Upset someone. I mean, I'm gonna go with I'm gonna give you 2 teams from the East: Boston Celtics.
And they've been surging quickly too. They coming together.
And I'm gonna go with the home team. If the home team, Cleveland Cavaliers, if everybody healthy, I think they can upset. Well, let's say a Chicago Bulls. I think they can upset them because they won't have the continuity that they had if all their players come back.
Right.
Just in time for the playoffs. They're gonna have to it's gonna take them a game or 2 to get reacclimated to each other, and I think the Cavs can stun them. And then the Boston Celtics, like you said, they surging. I think Jason Tatum he didn't hit the stride, like he making a leap. He's like down the stretch, you need a bucket, you need a decision made. He's the guy, and he's not afraid of anybody. So I think them 2 teams on the East are the upset. If I go with the West, I'm gonna say the Denver Nuggets. If you know
MPJ back in the glitch, ooh.
Yeah, they're gonna be more than upsetting if they get those guys back. I know it's gonna take them a while to get into it, but
I know Bones Highland been coming into his zone as well too. The last couple of games merging, that team been going on the radar. Like the Denver Nuggets right now got themselves back into the regular playoff mode at 6th seed. At first, they was a playoff end team, and they 41 wins up now. I'm liking what I'm seeing from Jokic. Brandon Malone, long-time assistant Cavaliers coach, who has the right players in the right spot. Austin Rivers refound himself again, and over there, JaMychal Green has been an enforcer as well. Then too, not only in the West, another team nobody not really been talking about. We started off with him, Karl-Anthony Towns.
Oh yeah, they 10 games over 500.
Now this could be a dangerous team.
Mm-hmm.
For someone to go up against 40-30, and they'd be in the playoff end game going up against either the Clippers or the Lakers or the Pelicans if that hold. So you look at that young team with the D'Angelo Russell and the Karl-Anthony Towns, that team and Vanderbilt, that team right there could be sneaky good. But do they have enough to what it takes to win a 7-game series?
I I think they could. I think they could. You know, like I said, they got D'Angelo Russell, Carl Anthony Towns,
Mm-hmm.
who's got over a hellacious year. You know, he lost his mom to COVID. He was sick with
Mm-hmm.
COVID himself. Um, to now have a year like how he's having, you know,
Rest in peace,
that
more like
says a lot about
Cap.
him.
Right.
Yep, you got the Ant Man,
Yeah.
who's just like a freak athletically. I think if they get the right matchup, they could. I mean, right now they slated go against the 12 in them, Memphis and them. I don't think that's happening. So they gotta
Mm-hmm.
kind of hope. Yeah, I don't see it. Phoenix, Memphis, Golden State. If they gotta play any of those three, they'll win a game. I don't think they can upset any of those teams.
That's true. Another team that been playing a great brand of basketball, like you said, is the Memphis Grizzlies.
Mhm.
John Morant, we gotta put his name in the MVP hat. Like, hasn't been a
Yes,
guy
sir.
that small for a while to do what he do. Last person that small was AI.
Yeah.
Literally, John Morant putting the team on his shoulders. Like I said, it's been a while since he's been the guard that's moving like that, dunking like that, like since AI.
He lead the league in points in the paint.
Points in the paint, bro.
it's
Remember,
crazy.
your two big men are the second and third leading scorers in the league. Joel Embiid and Jokic. But you got John Morant, number 1 point scorer in the paint. Not layups, dunks too. Like, and that team is good too, sneaky good. Wait till they get Aaron Brooks back. I mean, Dylan Brooks. I'm talking about Aaron Brooks. I'm sorry. I know you out there. I know you retired from the NFL. I know you played for the Saints. Dylan Brooks. So
he came back. He had his first game yesterday.
Oh, Dylan Brooks. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
my bad. It was another Aaron Brooks. Another Aaron Brooks did play basketball. The point guard who played for the Houston Rockets as well back in the day. He's on somebody coaching staff. I forgot who coaching staff he's on.
Okay.
But, when I'm looking at the Memphis Grizzlies, the grindhouse is back. The grindhouse is back. Outside of LeBron, I think I told you before we started, Marcus, that outside of LeBron James, I do tune into a lot of John Morant games. He's slender. Yep. He's built like me, slender guy, but he got the bunnies. I can't jump out the gym no more, but I can't hit you a clutch basket. So I ain't worried about that. If you need help, the Lakers, hit your boy up, man. I'm ready to go. I got the sneaker bag ready. I got more shoes than PJ Tucker. But anyway, speaking of the PJ Tucker, the Miami Heat, though, Marcus, number 1 team in the East. Why is nobody talking about this team, this Miami Heat team?
I mean, they like Spurs East. They just do every year. They just Heat culture. Yeah, they just do the same thing. They all business. That's why nobody's talking about it, because it's just like, this is what you expect. I mean, nobody's probably expecting them to be number 1, but they was going to be in the top 6. They was going to be a tough team, slug it out in your face, led by Jimmy Butler and Kyle Lowry, Bulldogs, and then you got Bam. Like, the surprise with that team really is Tyler Hero. He had an off year last year, but now he back to how he was playing during the bubble. So that's really the change in the team of why I think they first instead of maybe like third or fourth.
I gotta sit back on that one. He said the Spurs of the East. That was good. That was good because the way they play is just like that. Everybody know, like you said, everybody know their assignments. They know their job. They know they're supposed to be on the floor. And it's like you said, it always goes to the coaching staff. Spo, he got them guys playing basketball. Not only that, let's talk about that leader on the bench they got all the way at the end of the bench. Udonis Haslem.
There's another guy that's been in the league forever that people don't talk about.
And people don't realize, people never talk about him. It's so crazy. He was in that same 2003 draft class with LeBron, Melo, and Wade. There's only 3 of those guys left from that class: Melo, Bron, and Udonis.
Udonis.
And you're looking at Udonis on that bench. He might not get the playing time he was getting back in the day, but it's always good to have that hammer in your toolbox. Somebody you can lean on, somebody you can pound on, and he's going to put you in the right places to win. He'll give you that advice when you need it. Every team needs that big brother I was talking about. A lot of teams don't have no veterans. So you're looking at true veterans that can get you over the hump, that can get you out that sluggish mode. Hey, big fella, listen here, Rook. They gotta get together, man. If you do this, boom, 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 you do this here, trust me, they come through. That's what Draymond Green been doing the whole season for the Golden State Warriors. That's why they are a dangerous team when he's out there on the floor. Not because
Mhm.
Steve Kerr's out there coaching. You gotta have the voice too on the bench. It's good to have different voices too on the bench that can opinionate you where you need to be on the floor to be set up and get situations. So shout out to Udonis Haslam. Shout out to Marcus on that Marcus ism right there. The Miami Heat is the Spurs of the East. I like that. Speak
Sir.
going about we talking about the Chicago Bulls. You know, injuries, coming through for them right now at the wrong time. Now, I think Zoe should be coming back as well. Uh, and Patrick Williams. So if those two guys come back and Caruso, where can you see this team headed to? Could this team be a legitimate contender in the East?
I think if they come back, let's say with at least a couple games left in the season, get the jail back, yeah, they could. I think DeMar DeRozan has been playing that good,
Mm-hmm.
but one thing with DeMar DeRozan, like James Harden, he's had playoff lapses. So if
Right.
the DeMar DeRozan from the regular season don't show up for the playoffs, then they won't go far.
Another market is on right there. That boy had dropping Woj bombs. But no, that's a definitely a fact. Like with DeMar DeRozan, you're gonna get in the postseason. The postseason's in a whole other season. This ain't none of that BS stuff that you see in the regular season. The regular season for fans. The playoffs is for the players. Who's gonna show up?
Right.
So,
You got. I mean, if we get that DeMar from Toronto playoffs, where
mm, mm.
was officially known as LeBronto, then no,
Oh,
they
oh
won't go
yeah.
far.
All right. So, we got the right now NFL free agency is up in the air now. Tom Brady hit us with the old fake and bait. Come out of retirement. He said, "Psych, gotcha." Coming
Gotcha.
back to playing for the Bucks. Um,
Yep.
the Deshaun sweepstakes is up in the air. You hearing
There.
these you hearing these teams float around. The Browns, Falcons, Saints, Niners, all these teams, Dolphins, is trying to get into the Deshaun Watson sweepstakes.
Mhm.
When you look at this type of player, all 22 civil cases right now is up right now. If he beat this thing now, and a lot of teams want Deshaun Watson. Marcus, what is one team out there in the market that you would see him fitting into with a good fit with no problem? What team you think got the best chance for him to win? If you look at it, we're not going by city how the comment is, but the best team that's suitable for him to win right now.
I mean, I would say it's two teams. I can't go one. Of course, the Cleveland Browns.
Facts.
You put him in for Baker Mayfield, and let's say Deshaun Watson played for the Browns last year.
Right.
That team is in the Super Bowl.
Oh,
I
facts. That's
mean,
for sure.
yeah, that team is in the Super Bowl. I mean, he's that good of a quarterback. I mean, no offense to Baker Mayfield. We
Mm,
had countless quarterbacks before him. He was the only one to take us back to the playoffs, back to at least being
relevant.
reputable in the
Right.
NFL.
Right.
And then I'll say Atlanta because he grew up in Atlanta. He was a ball boy for the Atlanta Falcons. A lot of people don't know that,
Yeah.
and I
Facts.
think he can pick them just off the history he got with him. I think he know the owners well, and so I think it's between the Browns and Atlanta, but the
Now,
Browns are a better team.
right. I'm glad you
He had a
said
better
that
chance
too
of winning.
about. I got to say that too about Deshaun Watson and the Falcons. Like that, they already got continuity together. When
Mhm.
Warren Dunn was the running back there for a while, I mean, he was there for a hot second. Um, Deshaun Watson, they didn't have a home. And, people didn't notice that Warren Dunn used to buy houses up in the area to help people get back on their feet. Little did you know that Deshaun Watson was his mother was one of the recipients of that
Hmm.
foundation to get a house. So they always
Wow.
go hold in hand. That's why he became a ball boy too as well. So Deshaun Watson and the Falcons go a long way. But I think the one thing that may keep him away from the Falcons is too that you don't have a Calvin Ridley.
Right.
So only thing
He's
is gonna be
gone.
who he's throwing the ball to. Kyle Pitts.
I don't even know who that is.
a tight end for the Falcons, Kyle Pettis. So they're gonna throw the ball to him. That's the
I guess.
big tight end from Florida. So I'm looking at the New Orleans Saints. Okay, if you go to the Saints, who are you gonna throw the ball to? Because if you go to New Orleans Saints, that means you could either have to give up either Kamara
Ooh,
or what's the receiver name for he played for Ohio State.
Michael
Man,
Thomas.
Michael Thomas, Keyshawn Johnson nephew.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to give up something. Well,
To get him.
to get him. Then you go to this third team, the Cleveland Browns. Got to put everybody on some game real quick. So if you get him, the Browns will give up like a third round and fifth pick, Kareem Hunt and Baker Mayfield. But here, this is the kicker nobody's not talking about on TV. Jimmy Haslam and Deshaun Watson still the same lower slash agent.
Oh,
So
you dropping gems. Okay.
well, yeah, so this, people are, how you know this? I'll tell you where you get this homework from. I say, man, I do a little digging. I don't know nobody. I'm just a reader, people. I just read into stuff and match things up. But I can't tell you where I got that from. Can't tell you that. The proof is in the pudding, though. You do your homework. So I'm looking at Jimmy Haslam. When he got that conviction for his gas station stuff, a pilot flying J. The same reputable lawyer slash agent is Deshaun Watson's agent. So now we're going to get him out this case. So I know he's in Cleveland. He's supposed to meet with the Browns today, but he's supposed to meet with the Panthers as well and the Saints. So we probably know something with who he's going to sign with within the next 26 to 48 hours.
Yeah.
And everybody keeps saying Cleveland might fall out the runnings for a quarterback. I just say, hey, since I gave that gem to you right there, it's a possibility that he may land in Cleveland, but I want to put it out there how far the Panthers will do too, because the Panthers got a lot of draft picks, a lot of ammunition that they can free up. I know they definitely want to get rid of Christian McCaffrey. Christian McCaffrey can't stay healthy at all.
Nope. It's another street clothes guy.
Yeah, street clothes. Been hurt for the last 3.5 seasons. But I met him before. Very nice guy. But let's call it what it is. Injury prone. Like Marcus said, street clothes guy. So it's a lot of things that's going on. And, you know what I'm saying? You got any input on this, Mark, about Deshaun Watson?
I mean, you also got to account for is he going to be able to play next year? I mean, I think the criminal charges they saying they dropped. He still got those civil suits where he may be able to settle them. But is Roger Goodell going to suspend him? I mean, I know he missed all the last season, and and Roger Goodell hasn't, like, that wasn't like a suspension. He just, he said he didn't want to play for the Texans no more, and the Texans basically told him to go home with all your legal trouble, just don't even show up. So he still may face a suspension. So whatever team do get him, how many games is he really going to play? And is it going to be enough to the point where even when you get him back, you're so far out of the playoffs, it don't even matter?
Mm-hmm. That's a fact.
Yeah.
So when you said that, I mean, yeah, because I believe that Roger would be like, all right, Deshaun, you missed pretty much like a couple years of football. I believe that's enough right there. So you know what? Suspend it. If you do suspend him, he suspended for 2 games. Let him get in there. Let him go to work. But I do believe he shouldn't be suspended. I think he served his justice. I think he paid his debt to society. The whole thing he's got to do now on the regular now. I heard he's been practicing now, been working out with his guys down in Atlanta, keeping his body tight and straight to get ready for the upcoming season. I believe he will be in someone's arena running through a tunnel on a Sunday. And I believe, like Dabo said, he's the Michael Jordan of football. Now, when he was out there, when he was playing, I think the only team he had to get past to, I feel like if he'd have got past the Chiefs that 1 year before everything happened, they'd have been in the Super Bowl. Deshaun Watson got Super Bowl superstarism written all over his game, but he got tarnished, had a bad streak. But I do believe in second chances. I believe he will be in someone's team, and I think you have a lot of supporters that's going to back him up for whatever team he plays for in the fall. So,
Yep.
like I said, Deshaun Watson will be reckoned with. He's going to play with a chip on his shoulder, a huge chip.
You got to stay out of them masseuse parlors too.
Mm-hmm. Now, going to this now, you're looking at now Aaron Rodgers. They call him the GOAT.
Discount double check.
Discount double check. Got 3 years, Marcus. 150 million. Man making like 24.6 million a year. Do you I always tell people, do you believe he was worth it in that contract?
Yeah. I'm gonna say this. I believe Green Bay owe him that money. Is he worth it in general? Maybe not that much, but Green Bay owed him that money just because what he did for Green Bay. You know, they got 2 MVPs, 1 Super Bowl, and then accounting for kind of some of the shady stuff he alleged they did. Like drafting the backup quarterback, I can't think of his name, Jordan something. Drafting him behind his back.
Jordan Love.
Yeah. So like that's kind of them greasing the palms, like saying sorry. So I think Green Bay owe him that money. I don't know if he worth quite that much. I mean, he only got 1 Super Bowl. I mean, it's tough.
Right, that's what I'm about to say right here. Now, I'm a huge Brett Favre fan. I'm gonna take y'all back. Brett Favre wanted a contract like this too a long time ago. It's like, nah, Brett, you too old. We got to move on. This is around the same age as Aaron Rodgers is now.
Same exact thing, except Jordan Love was Aaron Rodgers.
Right. That's a fact. But the reason I said that, we would never know who Jordan Love is because he's not getting a shot. To all my old athletes out there, 37 plus, y'all been great. Y'all held it down for all the years you've been in the league. I just want to say this to y'all. I'm not knocking y'all how y'all get y'all money. Man, get out the way. Go home. Let the young guys play so we can see what they got. We don't want to watch these guys in preseason. We don't want to watch these guys in blowout games when it don't mean nothing. I want to see the full potential of a young football, baseball, swimming, cricket, softball. I want to see the full potential of these athletes. They would never get the recognition that they need because the whole thing they've been a practice dummy.
Right.
I want to see the practice dummy to become the real dummy of the team. That's all I want to see.
I mean, we got good. We got what's it in Cincinnati? Was the quarterback
Joe Burrow?
Joe Burrow, good example. Young guy. They let him play. What do? He taking the Super Bowl in Cleveland. Our rookie Evan Mobley. As soon as he joined the team, we went from a below 500 team to we in the 60 of the playoffs. Like at some point, you gotta let the young talent, like you said, get out there, get out the way, let the young talent,
you gotta let them play. And the whole thing too, Marcus, they only doing this so they can sell tickets. They scared to rebrand themselves. Like your name is out there. And first and foremost, man, like I said, I'm not going to shade nobody. Like we can't be calling Aaron Rodgers the GOAT. He can't even get past the 49ers every time they go to the NFC Championship or something like that. When they meet up in the playoffs, he lose to them. The Niners have their number. I don't care who their quarterback is. Jimmy G is their quarterback. He can get past them. And Jimmy G wasn't even throwing deep passes. It was a heavy run game. Your wide receiver is your running back in Deebo Samuel. Shout out to Deebo. When I look at Aaron Rodgers, now I'm hearing on TV, oh, this is the best situation for Aaron Rodgers. Oh, the Packers did this and Aaron Rodgers knew. If that GM had any balls, all right, Aaron Rodgers, you want your way? Hey, man, go play for somebody else. We can do this over again. Thank you for your 1 Super Bowl that you guys within 8 years. Like, nobody's talking about that Super Bowl no more.
Nope.
What have you? The whole thing is, what have you done for me lately?
You got you an MVP and winning the division. He did that a couple of times, but like you said, he runs some 49ers. He's out of there. What division they in? Do they play the Chiefs too, don't they?
NFC West.
Oh no, so they wouldn't play.
Nope, because the Packers is NFC North.
Okay. And so he runs into, was it the Ram? What other team he lost to? Was it the Rams? Year before that?
Mm-hmm.
Got him out of there. Like when he's running against these great teams on equal caliber in the playoffs, he ain't been getting it done.
All right. And two, I'm looking at all these guys, NFL free agency is heating up. And you looking at people, Christian Kirk leaving the Cardinals. This dude never had over 1,000. He never had over 1,000 yards in his career. Goes on like a 3-year deal, 4-year deal with the Jacksonville Jaguars. Gonna be down there playing with Trevor Lawrence. And I think the Jaguars gonna be a different team next year. Too, they get their running back because their running back was out. Chris Inty was out for a while. So you lost him for the regular season. You get him back next year. I get Trevor Lawrence some insurance back there. His old running mate in college. You got what's his name going from the Seahawks to the Broncos and Russell Wilson. So you get him some young receivers. It's a lot of movement going around. Mitchell Trubisky goes from backup quarterback from the Buffalo Bills to the starting quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So it's players on the move. Like we're trying to figure out that next domino. What players going to? Where's Von Miller going to go? Where's Odell Beckham Jr. going to go? I know they always say when they come back and play for the Rams and stuff. Were the Rams willing to give up that hefty paycheck for those type of players? Are these players willing to sacrifice and take a pay cut? That's the whole thing. Players don't want to take a pay cut, but they want to win right now. Take this out of the Greg Popovich book. If you want to win championships right now, look at that old Spurs teams from the 90s to the early 2000s, in the late 2000s. Tim Duncan and David Robinson was taking pay cuts so they can keep that same nucleus around. If you keep that same nucleus around, you can always win. All you're doing is now, guess what? To make this taste a little bit better, let's throw a little dash this in, dash it up. No, you got guys that want to go play for these teams. You only got enough to play for 3 superstars. Now you're trying to figure out, I need an offensive guard, I need a left tackle, I need a right tackle, I need a center, I need a nose tackle. You got to be able to pay the other guys up front that matter the most. So if you ain't got enough money to pay these guys, you're not going to win.
Yep. Football is like it. Football is different than the other sports. It's a 60 roster league, 60-man roster league for a reason. Like you said, you got the left tackle is just as important as a quarterback in some instances. I mean, right. if you ain't got a good left tackle or that weak side tackle, your quarterback gonna be getting trampled.
And we know all about that in Cleveland. Now we moving forward. Baseball season, they out of the lockout. Like I'm be honest, I'm happy about that. I'll play baseball. Get back to MLB League Pass. Catch them with them Cleveland Guardians and the Boston Red Sox and the LA Dodgers. Some of those favorite teams I like to watch on a given night. So now they're still gonna play the regular 162 game season. They are in training camp. That means we're gonna have baseball until probably till late November.
Damn, that's tough. I mean, that's tough.
Right. Now think about that. Baseball is gonna be going right into college football season. And you're gonna have some NBA season. So think about that. You're gonna have pretty much sports all year round now. It's not gonna be all day. So we're looking at all the guys that's reporting into camp for baseball. 162 games. And I heard the commissioner, I'm gonna say sorry first and foremost to the fans. You apologize to us for it. Y'all knew that y'all was gonna be on lockout since last year. You knew that the arbitration deal was gonna default when that season over. Once that World Series ended and Atlanta Braves held their trophy, y'all bust should have been right in y'all office the next day working on
trying
the deal.
To work that out. Yep.
You're gonna wait till the new collective bargain agreement comes up like 3 weeks before training camp and trying to work a deal. It's not going to work like that. That's something you should have worked on during the postseason, right after it ended. And you know what? Hey, we're gonna meet up with all 30-something baseball clubs. We're gonna meet with all the managers and GMs. Let's get a handle on this. They didn't do that. That's where they failed there. That's where they failed at right there. They failed to Brent.
Yep.
So,
absolutely.
So when I hear and I'm looking at the stuff like This is the part I do respect about the baseball players. They said the reason they was going to a lockout, they were trying to get the guys who in AAA and single A and double A ball to get them paid more money as well because they're not getting paid that much. So when I said that, I said, okay. When the big brother's looking out for the little brothers down there who can get a call up, they can still get paid. Some guys weren't getting paid like most of the guys up in the big leagues. You got guys in big leagues making $340 million a year compared to the guy who's down there playing double A baseball who's playing about 70 games a year is only making out about probably no north of 25,000. So they still have to support their families too as well.
I mean, that's see, I didn't know the detail about the lockout. I just thought that, as always, it was about money, but if it's about money for, the minor league guys, I mean, that's huge. It just shows how much the major league players care about the process. Right. They don't necessarily have to care about the younger players. They just know, hey, this is what I had to do to get to the league. Exactly. When I got here, my money wasn't right. I just want to make sure whoever else come through, they money right when the situation come time for.
Right. And think about what you just said too, Marcus. Some of these guys don't get a shot and play in the big league.
Right.
It's like the NBA. It's like the NBA Gatorade League. A lot of guys don't come through and get a shot. You got guys that have been down there since forever.
Right. You got some veterans down there.
Yeah, you got some veterans, practice dummies. That's all they are. I mean, call it what it is. One of our guys come back. We know we on baseball, and I'm liking what I'm seeing right now. I think it's gonna be a hell of a baseball season. Fernando Tatis will be out for a while as well. He's gonna be injured. I think he's gonna be out for the first 2 or 3 months of the baseball season. Tatis Jr., you know who he is. San Diego Padres all-star, superstar guy over there. Before I jump to this next one, I'm going to say this. Our guy Tyreke Evans is back in the NBA. He's playing for the G League Ignite.
Oh, he's playing for the Ignite. Ignite is the fresh out of high school guys mainly.
Right. So he's coming back into the league, which I thought that penalty that they gave was kind of harsh. But he's been gone from the league for now 3.5 seasons or 4 seasons, maybe 5 at the most.
Wow. Yeah, I think it's been about 5. I don't know.
Tyreke Evans, y'all don't realize he was MVP. I mean, not MVP, but a rookie of the year in the league. Walking bucket, he's playing in Sacramento with DeMarcus Cousins, Hassan Whiteside, and them younger heydays. So I'm looking at this right here. Whoever gets him on a 10-day contract, because people can pick players up right before the playoffs start. Whoever get him, man, that's going to be a nice pickup. Because not only you get you a nice scorer, you get you a savvy veteran too, who understands nuance of the game, who knows where to be where on the floor. Mm-hmm. So I'm looking at him. That's going to be a great pickup. So back to baseball.
Lakers need to do that.
The Lakers need all the help they need.
Right.
They need to come sign me right now. I'm always good. Look, I'm good for about 10 minutes and about 12 points, man. Because y'all losing about 30 anyway. My 12 points ain't gonna do nothing but not make the score look respectable. y'all don't play defense anyway. Well, at least for me, and my favorite player is right behind me, Kevin Garnett.
Big ticket. Got that jersey hung up.
Right. I'm 5'8". And I know my man, you better not call KG 7 foot, 6'11", man. 6'11". That's what he is. And the one thing about me, I'm 5'8", but I'll play like him. I'm playing defense, bro.
Thanks.
Give you a bucket, and I'll take a couple of technical fouls for you because I love getting technical fouls. I know if it ain't going right, but anyways, as we go on through this podcast, Marcus, everything heating up in the sports world. The one thing I do want to touch on is why are the players being so soft? And you know who I'm leading to. Naomi Osaka. Right? I mean, let's be honest. I know people got feelings and all this stuff. When do our athletes become soft?
I mean, I think it's the it's a player empowerment era. They I don't even know if it's You know, somebody like Naomi, I don't know. I wouldn't say she's soft. I
You
would
can
just
see.
say
I'm not saying like I'm
she.
not calling her soft. I'm just saying why they acting like yes, soft, but I'm not calling her soft. The emotion of the
Exactly.
game. I'm looking like I would be proud if somebody's heckling at me at the game. I and I'm looking at players like back in the day, like a Dennis Rodman, kick you, punch you. I'm looking at players like a John McEnroe, Steffi McGraw will cuss you out and still play their game and prove you wrong. At the end of the day, that fan wasted their money to come see me. I didn't come see you
Right.
play. That's
You
the
came
whole
to see
thing
me
I'm
play.
getting at. So how
Right.
do you feel about her? She's crying. She lost both her sets. I think she lost one set like 6-3, 6-2, and 6-4. So you're looking at that.
I mean, you got
So
to be mentally tougher than that for sure.
and
I mean,
you
I will say that. I mean, because you playing in the sport, playing in any sport, period. There's spectators. The spectators, as long as they not crossing the line,
right.
yeah, I think it's fair game. They booing you,
Mm-hmm.
even saying you suck. I think that's all fair. You got to
Right.
be able to play through that. And then some of the stances she's taken, you know, in the past, not talking to was it to the press, you got to expect some backlash to come from that, and some people ain't gonna like it. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, and as long as they're not disrespecting her, if they just booing her, I mean, you got to live with that.
Right. And like I said, man, rest in peace to Kobe Bean Bryant.
And,
That guy was mentally strong. I know everybody
oh
see the
yeah,
clip with Chris Rock talking to him, cracking jokes, and Kobe Bryant is straight still face, like ain't making no smirk, just sitting there looking like. And we see the famous one when Matt Barnes is going like this with him at the ball, and Kobe is just there. There's not too many players that's built like Kobe Bryant. And the last person that he's the last person that we see, but the person before him was Michael Jordan. We talk about these
Jeffrey
guys
Jordan.
was built different. That was just
Mhm.
they were just built different. And I'm looking at these new guys that cry about everything. You know, one of my favorite players, LeBron James, does a lot of crying about calls. James Harden, they all do. This is the new
Yes,
league.
they do.
Why y'all crying about a call that happened 3 plays ago? Or you get the referee that 2 nights later, and you still bitching and moaning about that call. Guess what? He's about to tee you up. Now, the one person who I hate to see get technical fouls is DeMarcus Cousins. His name is just out there, and some of the stuff he be doing is not even technical foul worthy.
Mhm.
Period. Just because he get the notion of what he was doing on his previous behaviors would lead him to the technical fouls. That's the one thing I don't like because I believe when I'm watching certain games from all sports, I believe the referees be mad because their homeboy or homegirl then officiate the other game. He better not come to me with that. I got something for him. They be so quick to throw the technical fouls for some reason. And two, technical fouls became heavy too because you can bet on technical fouls. You can bet on the game. You can go. It's like ever since betting came along, it seems like the referees now are part of the game now.
Big part of
Like
the game.
they are. So you go to a game. They get a call. They got to go under the hood. They go to the sideline. We go look at this at the computer.
Gotta go
Man,
look it back.
they spend another 3 or 4 minutes looking at that with a team who already used all their timeouts, don't have no timeouts left. This will get a team with no time to draw up a play. Guess what? The other coach come argue. Now that goes for 4 minutes. Now we have a total of 20 minutes with 10 seconds left in the game, and we got to go to work in the morning. It's all for ratings. It's all for the cash.
Like wrap it up, B.
Yes. How hard is it? Like I said, I like the old days where there's no instant replay. And you hit the buzzer beater, the ball was in his hand. I seen a lot of games from back in the day that people hit buzzer beaters, that ball was still in their hand, and that light lit up. I just want to go back to that style of basketball, the real defense when I can hand check you, because there's too many guys out here doing what they want, and the referees letting some players play and some don't.
Yep.
And you know what
Like we
player
said
don't
at
let
the
you play?
beginning.
Yeah. You know what one referee who don't let you play, who won't call everything on you? Tony Brothers.
Tony Brothers calling it everything.
He
You don't
called
care who you
everything.
is either.
Nope. I call that Charles Barkley's big brother right there. But anything else you got to say, Marcus?
I don't know, man. I think we done covered it all, man.
Hey, y'all know how we do, man. Like I said, we appreciate everybody tuning in. I'm your host, Tay Wiz.
This is your co-host, Mark Sr.
This is After Hours Live from the Man Cave. We out.
Peace.